I now invite Amada Irma Perez to entertain us with her first story.
And I'd like to share a couple of things that I brought with me. These are flour sacks. They used to be flour sacks, saquitos de harina, that my mother used to collect, and I suppose my grandmother too. They used a lot of flour to make a lot of tortillas, because we ate tortillas every single day, every single meal. And so when the flour was all gone, then my mother would wash the little flour sacks and sew them together, and then she would make all sorts of things with them. Curtains, tablecloths, even our sheets for our beds. And I'd like to share one other thing that my mother used to use a lot, and those were blue chip stamps. We used S&H green stamps as well, but I don't have one of those books. I have a blue chip stamp book, and children, you'll get to see what that's all about in one of my stories. So I'm going to begin with my diary from here to there, mi diario de aquí hasta allá. I wrote all of my stories both in English and in Spanish because those are my two languages. I was born in Mexico, and but went to school in the United States since I was 5. So I started kindergarten in the United States and went into the sink or swim program, and here I am, alive. So, but it was hard, very hard. But I want to share this part of my life with you. And I thank you so much for inviting me here. Dear Diary, I know I should be asleep already, but I just can't sleep. If I don't write this all down, I'll burst. Tonight, after my brothers Mario, Victor, Hector, Raul, and Sergio, and I all climbed into bed, I overheard Mama and Papa whispering. They were talking about leaving our little house in Juarez, Mexico, where we've lived our whole lives, and moving to LA. But why? How can I sleep knowing we might leave Mexico forever? I'll have to get to the bottom of this tomorrow. Today at breakfast, Mama explained everything. She said, Papa lost his job. There's no work here, no jobs at all. We know moving will be hard for all of you, but try to understand. I thought the boys would be upset, but instead they got really excited about moving to the United States. Am I the only one who is scared of leaving our home, our beautiful country, and all the people we might never see again? My best friend Michi and I walked to the park today. We passed Don Nacho's corner store and the women at the tortilla shop, their hands blurring like hummingbird wings as they work the dough over the griddle. At the park, we braided each other's hair and promised never to forget each other. We each picked out a smooth, heart-shaped stone to remind us always of our friendship, of the little park, of Don Nacho, and the tortilla shop. I've known Michi since we were little, and I don't think I'll ever find a friend like her in California. I can't imagine leaving anyone in our family behind. Okay, diary, here's the plan. In 2 weeks, we leave for my grandparents' house in Mexicali, right across the border from Calexico, California. We'll stay with them while Papa goes to Los Angeles to look for work. We can only take what will fit in the old car Papa borrowed. We're selling everything else. Meanwhile, the boys build cardboard box cities and act like nothing bothers them. Mama and Papa keep talking about all the opportunities we'll have in California. But what if we're not allowed to speak Spanish? What if I can't learn English? Will I ever see Michi again? What if we never come back? Today, while we were packing, Papa pulled me aside. He said, Amada, mija, I can see how worried you've been. Don't be scared. Everything will be all right. But how do you know? What will happen to us? I said. He smiled. Mija, I was born in Arizona, in the States. When I was 6, not a big kid like you, my papa and mama moved our family back to Mexico. It was a big change, but we got through it. I know you can too. You are stronger than you think. Our trip was long and hard. At night, the desert was so cold, we had to huddle together to keep warm. We drove right along the border across from New Mexico and Arizona. Mexico and the U.S. are 2 different countries, but they look exactly the same on both sides of the border, with giant saguaros pointing up at the pink-orange sky and enormous clouds. I made a wish on the first star I saw. Soon, there were too many stars in the sky to count. Our little house in Juarez already seems far away. And then we arrived in Mexicali late at night, and my grandparents, Nana and Tata, and our aunts and cousins, everybody came to welcome us. And then, before we knew it, a year had passed, or almost a year. Oh, I have a picture of my Nana and my Tata right here. My grandmother, Doña Chuy, my grandfather, Don Porfirio, my mother's parents. So they're the ones that took us in, that gave us sanctuary. Papa left for Los Angeles this morning. Nana comforted Mama, saying that Papa is a U.S. citizen, so he won't have a problem getting our green cards from the U.S. government. Papa told us that we each need a green card to live in the States because we weren't born there. I can't believe Papa's gone. My uncles keep trying to make me laugh, but I just keep crying. And the boys, they drive me nuts sometimes, but today it feels good to laugh. And then more time passed, and my father kept in touch by writing very infrequently, and from time to time he sent money. And he wrote, "My dear family, I have been picking grapes and strawberries in the fields of Delano, 140 miles north of Los Angeles, saving money and always thinking of you. It is hard, tiring work. There is a man here in the fields named Cesar Chavez who speaks of unions, strikes, and boycotts. These new words hold the hope of better conditions for us farm workers. So far, getting your green cards has been difficult, for we are not the only family trying to start a new life here. Please be patient. It won't be long before we are all together again. Hugs and kisses, Papa." And then, finally, Papa sent our green cards. We're going to cross the border at last. He can't come for us, but will meet us in Los Angeles. The whole family is making a big farewell dinner for us tonight. Nana gave me a new journal when she saw me always writing. And she said to me, "Never forget who you are and where you are from. Keep your language and culture alive in your diary and in your heart. We leave this weekend. I'm so excited I can hardly write." And I wanted to end this story, even though it's not the end of the book, with that part, because those words were so important to me, my grandmother's words. Never forget who you are and where you are from. Keep your language and culture alive in your diary and in your heart. But she said them in Spanish, and I'm going to invite you to repeat after me. Que nunca se te olvide quién eres y de dónde vienes. Mantén siempre vivo en tu diario y en tu corazón tu lenguaje y tu cultura. Because my Nana was so important to me, and because she left me with those very special words to remember who I am and where I come from, I decided that she deserved a book all for her, a book for herself. And so I wrote this book, Nana's Big Surprise, about the time that she came to live with us in the United States. Mama, Papa, my 5 younger brothers, and I all stood and stared in amazement at what we had built right in our own backyard. Wow, we should open a family business building chicken coops, giggled Sergio, the oldest of my brothers. I hope Nana likes it, I said. Nana had been sad and lonely ever since our grandfather Tata died. But in just a week, Nana would arrive by bus all the way from Mexicali. The coop was a special surprise for her. She knew everything about raising chickens. I just knew our coop would make her smile. And so we readied the house for her arrival. And then Mama and Papa walked in the door carrying boxes of tiny, fluffy, yellow, noisy little things, the chicks. The man at the egg farm just gave these chicks away, Papa exclaimed. Suddenly, Hector cried out, I can't wait for Nana to get here so she can tell us stories. Nana's stories about her childhood, about living through the Mexican Revolution, and about raising her 13 children were some of our favorites. Well, we went out to pick her up, and finally the day arrived when we all piled into our old blue station wagon and drove to meet Nana at the bus station. There she is, I cried. Through the bus window, I could see Nana's familiar flowered rebozo. It was strange not seeing Tata next to her. We showered her with hugs and kisses, and on our way home, Mario and Victor almost blurted out our surprise. I had to use both hands to cover their mouths when they cried, Nana, Nana, we made you something. It's a Just in time. And back at home again, we brought Nana to the backyard. Her eyes grew huge when she saw the chicken coop. Mis nietecitos, what a beautiful surprise. Can you teach us about chickens? You're the expert, said Sergio. Ay, niños, I don't know that I'm up to such a big job. Please, Nana, please, we chirped. Well, I will if you all help me, she said. In a sometimes sad and sometimes happy voice, she told us about raising chickens as a little girl and gathering fresh eggs every morning, and about her spicy, chocolatey chicken mole, Tata's favorite. Well, we tried everything to make her happy, but she wouldn't smile. We took her out to the backyard where she could give us our first lesson. And then lots of things happened, but I don't want to give out the surprises. And she invited us to dance with her. I didn't get this up there, but this is one of my favorite. That's my Nana and me dancing in the chicken coop. Or by the chicken coop. And then Mama, Papa, and the boys came home. Nana, you're dancing. You're happy, they shouted. Soon they were dancing and clapping with us. Nana gathered us around her. Just now, I felt like I was dancing with Tata. I felt like inviting him and all the people I love and miss to dance with us. She explained that birth and life and death are a cycle that every living thing must go through, people as well as chickens. But it's natural to grieve too, she said, and to find comfort in the love of your family. And then more things happen. And finally, Nana comes into the kitchen holding her photo, which is this one, of Tata. You all have helped me so much during this difficult time, she said. But now Tata needs me to visit him and place fresh flowers on his grave every day. It is finally time for me to return to Mexico. You all made me a wonderful chicken coop. Now, will you help me make an altar for Tata to honor him and let him know how much we love and miss him? Of course, we all shouted. Nana smiled and said, Familia mia, I want you all to know that I will remember this time forever, even after I die. And we all hugged our Nana for a long, long time. And that's the end of Nana's big surprise. But you missed a lot of the surprises.